Have you ever given up on a dream because you felt it was impossible to achieve? I did once, and quite frankly, I was never more miserable. When I first graduated college, I dreamed of landing a position as a professional writer. I searched high and low in every classified section and online job portal I could find to uncover that gem of a job where I'd spend my days typing out words people would want to read. I envisioned opportunities would come rolling into my life when I graduated college. Yeah, well, opportunities for writing professionals weren't exactly taking up columns in the classifieds section, let alone even a sentence of space in any of the searches I conducted. My naive self took this to mean my dreams were over. Becoming a writer seemed impossible. I decided to give up on the dream. I would never be a writer. I felt that if I did that, at least I could move forward. The opportunities didn't exist for inexperienced people like myself. I took my crushed vision and ventured out on a more realistic romp through the classifieds. 2 months after my search began, I landed a job as a senior operations associate in a financial company. I walked into that tall building with its mirrored windows and perfectly manicured bushes and lawns, with a knot in my throat each day. And I walked out with frustrated tears rolling down my cheeks each evening. I lasted 18 months in that torture chamber, and I honestly think it shaved off a good 10 years of my life. I gave up and suffered the consequences. It was a decent job, and I made decent money. I upgraded my apartment at the time and even bought a new car. Why was I so miserable? I was miserable because money wasn't my motivating factor. I wanted to be a creative writer, not a monetary wizard. Where others found gratification, I found a straight path to dissatisfaction. I hated dealing with other people's money and the tantrums that often accompanied those dealings. So why did I put up with it? Why do any of us put up with jobs we can't stand? It paid the bills. Good old money kept me shackled to a career that likely gave me my first strand of gray hair. I needed the green bills, and this company gave them to me. I had a shiny new red car in the driveway and a charming apartment in Providence. I succumbed to the comfort of having a steady paycheck, which resulted in many sleepless nights spent wallowing in useless self-pity and drowning in relentless tears. The need for money was my obstacle. It forced me on a path that I didn't want to take and made me give up on my dream. Have you ever wanted something so badly, and that desire blinded you to find solutions to make it happen? A lot of us tend to get stuck in a dizzying pattern that makes us feel there is no way out. I wanted to be a writer so badly. When I earned my degree, I wanted to walk off that graduation stage and walk into the large doors of a publishing house where I could work my way up the ladder of literary heaven. I had no idea what kind of writer I wanted to be. I just wanted to make a living writing. For all I knew, I would have been thrilled writing the copy on the backside of a cereal box. It wouldn't have mattered. I just wanted to write. When I measured my dream against my reality, the two were so far off. The problem was that there were few positions available as a writer that did not require solid experience, something I did not have. Sure, I wrote a few fluff articles for my college literary magazine and wrote in plenty of journals to myself. But that wouldn't open doors as a professional. there seemed to be no answer, no viable way to break in. I thought I was doomed to a life of crunching numbers instead of expressing myself through the written word. Then one day, a light bulb turned on in my brain. While on a long hike, I vented to a dear friend. She then turned to me and asked, "But isn't a writer supposed to write?" I tripped over her question, knowing with every morsel of my being that her words echoed truth. But fueled by my laborious trek up the mountain and a biting need to defend myself, I answered quite hastily, "I don't have time to waste on foolish dreams. How am I supposed to carve out time to write when I have to concentrate on cleaning, grocery shopping, and oh yeah, working?" Her patient reply was, "How can you foolishly waste time on work that kills your soul?" I pressed on up the ridge of that mountain. The fog hung thick and dense, choking off the last bit of reason in my heart. With each step up that unforgiving rocky mountainside, I allowed self-doubt to trample on my friend's beautiful argument. Finally, breathless and irritated, I barked out, "I have no experience as a writer, and no one will allow me to gain it." My words echoed through the trees, slamming back against me with a force too powerful to brush away. My friend held silent until we ascended to the top of that mountain. Then she said, "You have no experience? Well, go get some then. Surely someone needs a writer, just as surely a soup kitchen needs servers and children need mentors. Write to help others, and pathways will open up to you." I took a good wide view of the tree-dotted landscape below, breathing fully for the first time in ages. I felt the unmistakable nudge I had needed since I first dreamed of becoming a writer. Yes, I would go and get some experience. I would write, not to earn a paycheck, but to make a difference in an organization that needed my help. I would volunteer to gain my experience. And so began my writing journey. I volunteered, writing articles for a local animal advocates group to help educate the public on issues pertaining to domesticated animals, something that is near and dear to my heart. Simultaneously, I began volunteering my time to write articles for hair salon trade magazines to help educate stylists around the globe on ways to market and build their businesses. Eventually, I discovered the writer inside, one who eventually discovered a passion for writing not only magazine articles, but novels that depicted real-life struggles and brought a sense of empowerment to love and friendship. Stepping away from something that sucks the life out of you to discover what breathes that life back in is both scary and exhilarating. And it's often necessary if you want to live a life that you're happy living. I've learned that to gain a sense of purpose requires action. If you want to be a writer, you must write. If you want to be a painter, you must paint. If you want to be an actor, you must act. You can't just talk about it. You can't just dream about it. You must do it. You can't ever give up. Oftentimes that path opens up by our willingness to forge a new one where one didn't exist before. That takes courage to build a new path. And that courage stems from a strong desire to live a life you're meant to live. Have you ever given up on something because you felt it was impossible to achieve? You felt all the odds were stacked too high against you. You didn't think you had what was necessary to make an impact. If so, you're not alone. And I'm living proof that what you decide to do is only half as important as doing it. So the question I leave you with is, what is one action you can take today, right now, to create an opportunity to make your dream happen. Once you discover it, please don't ignore it. You must go and do it for it to come to life. Don't give up. Go and make it happen. You owe it to yourself and others to live a life that gives you a great sense of purpose.